Good evening, welcome to Pop Your Hood. Today we will be working on a 2-liter turbo Volkswagen motor. It's the FSI series. We will be changing the spark plugs today. First things first, you need to remove this clamp on the intake hose. I'm going to do so with just a simple pair of pliers. Then you will need to unclip your mass airflow sensor over here. You just push down on the clip and pull. Push that off to the side. Then you will need to release these two tabs on the intake piping that goes to the turbo. Just gently pop that off. After that, you will need to unscrew these two Torx bits. I already have them loose since I was previously working on this engine, so I'm just unscrewing them by hand. Going to put them off to the side. Then pop the intake out. You just slide it right out here. And then there's 4 bushings on this intake slash engine cover. It's the air filter housing as well. Takes a little bit of pulling. Pull it right on off. Put that off to the side. Next, you have 4 clips holding that connect to the ignition coils. It's the same as the mass flow air sensor. You just push down and pull gently, of course, and pop all 4 off. Just push that off to the side. Then there's no screws or anything holding the ignition coils. You just pull them straight out. Sometimes they come out easy, sometimes they don't. Okay. Get the 4 coils removed. So the next step is to grab your 5/8 spark plug socket with a long extension on it and unscrew the 4 spark plugs. Be careful when unscrewing them, just to make sure you don't cross thread anything, because you're going to be in for a bad day if you do cross thread them. The spark plugs removed. Now I will be installing new spark plugs. I'm using genuine Volkswagen spark plugs made by Mk5. I recommend either using Mk5 or Denso plugs, preferably OEM ones. I paid about $20 for all these, so about $5 a plug, not too expensive. I'll put the part number in the description in case you want to buy these. The spark plugs should be pre-gapped, but I do just like to check them before installing them to play it safe, because sometimes they can get bumped around in packing, and you might have one that the gap is off on. You really shouldn't gap these iridium spark plugs, just because they're very easy to damage, but I just like to gently check them. It would be better to use a feeler gauge to do so, but I gotta use what I have. I'll be putting a very small amount of anti-seize on the threads. Make sure that you get the anti-seize on just the threads and not on the actual electrode of the spark plug, because that may cause damage and you don't want that. I also put electrical tape on the spark plug and extension to hold them together. Okay, now that we have the spark plugs installed, we are going to reinstall our ignition coils. We just gently pop them back in, and that's pretty much it. There's no screws or anything, they just slide right in. Harness for each ignition coil. Make sure you hear 4 clicks, one from each coil, just to make sure they're all on there, and then give them a little tug just to make sure they don't pop off, to prevent any misfires down the road. After that, just reinstall your engine cover and you're good to go.